Ah, well, welcome again to Doggone RV'N Travels with my girls. Summer has finally arrived in the Pacific Northwest. Thank goodness. I tell you, we got weather in the high 70s and up to 80 so far, which is the first. I think they said we've only had 3 days that it reached 80 this summer so far. But in the past, we've had 11, 12 or more. So it's been a long, wet, crappy winter up here. Anyway, I have gotten to the point now where we're packing up for our first trip of the whole year. It's short, but it's going to be adventurous. We plan on going to places down in Oregon to some wineries, a brewery, campgrounds on what appears to be a very beautiful lake, and we're going to tour one of the best and largest caverns in the Cascade Mountain Rainge up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I just wanted to show you what I've been up to and give you a little insight as to how I organize my RV when going on any trip, short or long. And let's start with this. This is the bathroom, of course, the wet bath, which I don't use. I prefer going to truck stops and such because they give you everything. And the ones I've seen and used have been clean and very nice. Besides, I hate having to dry everything down and all the rigmarole you got to go through to use your wet bath. It's not worth it to me. I have these. You can get these on Amazon. That's where you find everything anymore anyhow. And it's all my medical supplies and stuff for the dogs that I need. I can reach up there, get them immediately. And I've got other gear that I don't put in until the last minute. And I've maximized the use of my wet bath. I'll be making a short video on that. But since I don't use it as a wet bath, I've really maximized the space and what I put in there rather than any place else in the RV. So, and also this overhead rack I got from Humble Road a couple of years ago. It's just a really cheap white laundry rack you can get at Home Depot or such, but I put that in and I can store my queen sleeping bag up there, my pillow, and a blanket. And I like the metal grating because I can get my fingers up there and maneuver the sleeping bag and really position things at the best possible angle. Now, you can spend 25 bucks on something this easy, or you can spend 500 bucks and get the solid ones, which go higher than this one is and give you much less space. But this has worked out fantastic. This, I got rid of my old crappy Dometic 3-way, and I now have a new isotherm refrigerator. I haven't been able to go on the road since installing it to really test it out in weather, high heat and stuff. So this will be a good test for it because where we're going is supposed to be in the high 70s, possibly mid 80s. So we'll see how well she works. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. So we'll see if that's true. Let me show you the back here. Oh, okay. Well, since I've had this thing upgraded over the past several years, I wanted to run everything I could on solar and save the propane in the generator for such things as typical cloudy weeks up in the Pacific Northwest or wherever the clouds are staying, and also for the propane stove if I want, or the generator or the heat. However, I do have a convection oven now. I bought a little small New Wave and the pot and pan to go with it, and I'll be using that this time to cut down on all my use of the propane stove. Also, when it comes to clothes, up here. I got these at dollar store, and they're different sizes, colors, and that. But I've got them up here. I got 3 across, and then 2 of the narrow ones in the cubby hole up here. And I can put all my shirts and t-shirts in one, all my shorts and pants in the other. I got myself my full-size fan up here, which works really great. It's very, very quiet. I've used it before out in the desert, and it's awesome. But I can get 3 of these large ones. The fan up there, they just slide right in there, and I've got about 5 inches or more here that I can put other things like my tripods or whatever that I can just reach up and grab right away. Easily accessible. And over here I've got containers and stuff for my dog gear. They're coats, toys. I call these roadkills. I quit buying those big fluffy things unless I get them at the Goodwill store for $1 or $2. But the dogs love these things. So that's that. And then up here, this is where I put my food. And like I said, this first trip we're heading out in is just a short little drive, what I call a drive. We're not going to be out more than a week. So I'm really downsizing a great deal compared to what I would pack if we were to take off for 2 months, 6 months. And let's see here. I mentioned one time a while back I was going to have this here replaced and a custom fit slip cover over it. I've decided to just forget it. I can't find anything online for futons or anything I've been referred to that fit these weird size things. I think Pleasure-Way or somebody ought to make 2-piece fitted sheets you can just pull over these things. It'd be great, especially us people that have dogs. But that's good enough. It's lasted for 3 years. I'll just keep it until the dogs wear it out. And I got me some new big throw pillows, so when this is out, we're just kicking back for a week or 2 weeks in our campground area. I'll have these to prop me up, watch my videos, or else enjoy my music. I got a collapsible ladder here that I can put up and adjust my solar panels when we're out there hanging out in the desert this next year. And let's see. Oh yeah, let me show you what's in here. This used to be my closet, you know, where they hang clothes. And then I changed it over for my linen closet, which was a good idea at the time, but just didn't work. So that's where I put all my clothes, up here in these containers. I just pull it out, grab out what I need. Much easier. There's no hassle of pulling one thing out from the bottom and it all coming out on the floor. So that simplified everything. Well, let me show you what's in here. Come here, take a peek. So look in here and I'll show you what has worked out the best for trips. This is now my pantry. I've got my large items down here like my blender, my toaster, my big mixing bowls and plates. Up here I've got dishes that I need, and up here, which is empty right now, I've got the collapsible different size food containers that right now are in the house because before I leave I'm going to get a Kentucky Fried Chicken 20-piece meal, I think it is, divided up into those collapsible containers into about 4 or 5 different meals for on the road. Put them in the fridge, just take them out, use the microwave, boom, I got a really good meal. But that works really good. So, boy, I tell you, it's cooking in here even with this going and all the windows covered. And when it gets hot like someone just threw a switch on the oven. I tell you, the extremes, the temperatures and the weather up here go to anymore. It's just like you can't forecast anything really well. I remember growing up here in this state where come September, early October, clouds would move in, things would turn to gray, steel gray, and we'd have drizzle, rain, thunder showers. It'd just be wet for several months until after 4th of July. Well, now it's gotten so instead of just steady drizzle and rain, we're getting what they call atmospheric rivers up here that come in off the Pacific south, or from the south, and comes north up into the coast, and is funneled right into Puget Sound between the Olympic and Cascade Mountains. It's just like a chute, and it'll bring winds in of 60. We've had winds even up to 100 miles an hour, and that's one of the storms that blew that big son of a gun tree down on my kennel and just turned it into splinters. And there's one other tree back there in the woods that, dang, if that sucker falls, it'll turn my house into toothpicks, you know, and then I'll be living in this full time. So I guess I got this to hedge my bets on the future. But anyway, I have one last project to do, one last upgrade, and that's going to take place when I come back from this short little road trip. And that is to replace this old 2007 crappy, humpy carpet and linoleum, which I tried to clean and it just peeled off. Like when you stick tape to something, it just takes it off with it. But then it's going to be the very last upgrade to this place, and I am through. I tell you, my savings is hemorrhaged enough upgrading this thing to where I want it to be for my future lifestyle, RV life, semi-nomad with my dogs. So once I reach that point, I am through. You know, anything else is going to be due to damage or something necessary to replace. But anyway, I'm through, and I'll be making some new videos of all the different upgrades I've made to this little basic 2008 Pleasure-Ways Ascent in the films to come. My water purification system, my new 12-volt refrigerator. Gosh, there's like, I can't remember everything I've done to this in 4 years, but I wouldn't trade it for the world now. It is, for my dogs and I, perfect. And having served in the submarine service and a fast attack, this is like home. The bathroom, well, the bathroom probably was a little bit bigger because it had showers, but the living quarters here are much bigger than when I served on a submarine, because our bunks were basically coffins that I'd take my fist, put against my head, and it would wedge against the bottom of the bunk above me, and then you'd roll over on your shoulder and wedge your shoulder against the bunk above you. So in rough seas, if we surfaced or came up to periscope depth, you wouldn't roll out into the aisleway. But those stories are for another time. Anyway, I'm sweating like a pig in here, so I'm gonna call it quits and get back to packing. I just wanted to say hi to everyone out there, and we're about ready to jump in this thing and get the heck out of here on our first adventure. Like I say, there'll be videos coming of our stays at wineries, Harvest Toast wineries, Harvest Toast breweries, a really big campground and a lake, and the Oregon caves, which I haven't been to in a couple of decades, but are one of the biggest, best caverns in the Pacific Northwest, until you get down probably into the Sierras, like Shasta caverns and those, which I have toured about 20 caverns throughout the Sierras, from Mount Shasta to the end of the Sierras, and they're all different, all beautiful, and I hope in the future to be sharing places like that with you guys. So take care. I'm going to enjoy the summer. You never know, it could be gone tomorrow. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and like I keep telling you, my newer videos will be coming out. I'm fine-tuning the intros and such, and my scripts and everything that goes with producing the kind of video that I've seen some of the better ones on YouTube do. And hopefully you guys will recognize the difference in the quality, the format, the information, and I hope just the overall enjoyment of what I want to share with you on the road with my two girls. So the girls are in the house right now where it's cool. I'm gonna pack up here, go in until the sun sets or until dusk, and come out here and do some more work where it's cooler. But the girls and I want to wish you all happy trails and woof woof.